מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד.
On the eve of Yom Kippur, Jews all over the world listen to the ancient melody of Kol Nidre. Kol Nidre means all my promises. We ask God to forgive us the promises that we might make but are unable to keep, however hard we try. We cannot always do what we like. Sometimes we're not as strong as we should be. But we try again. We grow stronger as we struggle to keep our word. In the presence of Torah, our tree of life, we remember our promises. We remember how good it is to be true to ourselves, to our God, and to our people.
Kol Nidre Vesarei Vakaramei Vekolamei Vikinuyei Vikinusei Ushevot Dindana Urish Tebana Udeya Karimna Vedasarna Al Nafshatana Miyom Kippurim Zeh Ad Yom Kippurim Haba Aleinu Letova Kulhon Ikarat Navehon Kulhon Yon Sheran Shevitin Betelin V'utalin Lasherin Ve'lakayamin Nidrana La Nidre Ve'asarana La Esare Ushevuatana La Shevot.
O God, we will do our best to keep every promise fulfill every good intention and every resolution that we make during the year that has just begun, from this day of atonement to the next. But if there are promises that we truly cannot keep, however hard we try, we pray that we may be forgiven. And we ask pardon too for those promises we could not keep in the year now ended. Now and always we ask forgiveness as we remember the words of your Torah. The Eternal said, I have pardoned as you have asked. We continue with the words of the Baruch Hu. We stand, if we would like to, in our spaces where we are praying this evening, or we rise in our hearts as we lift our spirits to God.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
We continue with our Ma'ariv Aravim chant, remembering how wondrous this world is as night turns into day and day turns back into night.
Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, borei or mipnei choshech, borei or mipnei choshech, choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. We continue now with the watchwords of our faith, Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We continue with words of Micha Mocha, our prayer thanking God for bringing us to freedom. We turn to words of peace as we sing our prayer for peace, and we hope that our actions in this next year bring peace into our lives and into our world.
Oh, say shalom, say shalom
Avinu Malkeinu, our parent, our ruler. Sometimes we need the comforting hand that only a parent can provide. Sometimes we pray that those strong rebukes are only for our own protection. With words of Avinu Malkeinu, we ask for God's nearness and God's transcendence at the same time with us, watching over us in this year 5781.
Avinu
On Yom Kippur, we think about the ways that we have done wrong during the past year, or perhaps not things that we did wrong, but things we did not do as well as we could have, times when we were not our best selves. When we read through the liturgy, the things that we did wrong or that we wish we had done better are known as a chet, as a sin or a transgression. When we read them, they are often written in acrostic form, alphabetically, with something attached to each letter. We have to share a Yom Kippur alphabet, and perhaps as you listen, you might relate to one of the things that Rabbi Aaron and I read. Perhaps you too know that that was a task that maybe you didn't complete or something you didn't fulfill as well as you could have. And maybe it's something to look forward to doing better in the year ahead. This past year, we asked, are we there yet? When we were told the timing just 5 minutes ago.
We may have bit someone,
We may have called people names.
dropped things on the floor instead of putting them where they belong.
Perhaps we expected to get our way immediately.
Or fought with classmates or siblings.
Maybe we grabbed something without asking first.
Hit instead of using our words.
Interrupted when we can wait patiently or say, "Excuse me."
Jumped on the furniture when it's against the rules and we know it's not safe.
Or maybe we kicked people.
We laughed when someone was sad.
Or made a mess and refused to help clean it up.
Perhaps we said no, just for the sake of saying no.
Or opened something without permission.
Maybe we didn't say please when we asked for something.
Or maybe we were not quiet when someone was talking or sleeping or on the phone or on a Zoom call.
Was there a time that you ran into a building or into the road without looking?
Or maybe we forgot to say sorry when we hurt someone.
Maybe we took something without asking permission.
Or left our underwear on the floor instead of putting it where we know it belongs.
Before COVID-19, perhaps we visited someone's house without acting like a good guest.
Or we wrote on something that we're not supposed to write on: walls, books, floors, or furniture.
Maybe it was the case that you were actually feeling exhausted, but you still resisted bedtime.
Or you said yuck to trying zucchini without tasting it first.
We continue now with words of Ve'al Kulam, asking for that sense of forgiveness in our lives for all of these things, whether they were on the list or whether they are things we hold in our hearts.
Ve'al kulam elo aslichot selach lanu mechalanu kapelanu ve'al kulam elo aslichot selach lanu mechalanu selach lanu mechalanu kapelanu.
I would like to share with you a story about the town of Chelm. Perhaps you have heard of it. It is the legendary home of either the world's wisest fools or the world's most foolish wise people. You decide which one is true. Of all the things the people of Chelm loved, they loved the moon most of all. When it shone brightly in the night sky, there was joy and celebration in the town. Everything in the town was brighter. Homes would glow with happiness. Couples would walk through the town slowly, staring into each other's eyes. Children would listen to their parents and their teachers. The old, the young, even the dogs and the cats were kind and considerate to each other. But when the moon waned and disappeared, a gloomy sadness settled over everyone. "We have to do something about this," proclaimed the town leaders. "We have to find a way to stay joyful even in the dark nights. But how?" "If only we could capture the moon," one Chelm genius declared. "Then we could let it out on those dark, gloomy nights and bring happiness to the world." "But how do you capture the moon?" the townspeople wondered. "Well," offered Shmerel the tailor, "once I was eating a bowl of soup, and as I ate, I looked into the bowl, and in the bowl was the light of the moon. If we had a big enough bowl of soup, perhaps we too could capture the moon." And so it was determined. They would build the world's biggest bowl, fill it with soup, and capture the moon. In the town square, a giant bowl was constructed, and one night as the moon shone brightly in the sky, the whole town came forth with soup. Jars of soup, pots of soup, vats of soup, even bathtubs full of soup. Soon they had filled the world's largest bowl of soup. As the bowl filled up, the moon's brilliant light was reflected in it. "There it is," they shouted. They snuck up on the moon, then all at once they slammed the lid on the bowl. And at that very moment, a cloud covered the sky, blotting out the moon's light. "We own the moon," they shouted. "It's right here in the world's biggest bowl of soup. We own the moon." That night there was dancing and rejoicing all over the town of Chelm. But the next night, as the sun went down and darkness covered the land, the moon rose again, bright as ever, shining high in the sky. Everyone was perplexed. How can the moon be in the sky? We captured it right in the town square. Someone must have let it out. But who? Who would do such a terrible thing? And so an investigation was launched. Everyone in the town was questioned. Each person was required to account for their whereabouts on the previous day. No one was spared, except, of course, the rabbi. No one suspected that the rabbi would be the one to let out the moon, but the investigation came up empty. Everyone had an alibi. Everyone was in school, in work, in the fields, in the shops, at home. Everyone but the rabbi. And so the townspeople of Chelm timidly approached their beloved rabbi. "Rabbi, did you let the moon out of the soup?" the designated spokesperson inquired. "Yes," he sighed. "It was I." "But why? Why would you do that?" "Why?" he said thoughtfully. "Why? Because there are things we enjoy while we have them. They are ours to own and to hold and to enjoy." "Like a shirt," someone offered, "or a shoe?" "And there are things," the rabbi continued, "things of far greater value that we only enjoy when we share them. Do you know what things I mean?" "Love," someone suggested. "Yes, love," he answered. "And hugs," someone offered. "Yes, hugs." "And joy," they shouted. "Yes, joy." "And the moon," said Shmerel the tailor sadly. "Yes, the moon as well. Only when we share it can we really enjoy its light. And so I was the one who let the moon out, and now all the world can share it."
Though we can't be together on this day, though we can't stretch that giant talit over you, we still want to offer words of Birkat Kohanim, our priestly blessing. We pray that God's presence is in your lives, surrounding you as a comfort in these difficult times, and we pray we can be back together soon. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's light, the light that we share, rest upon you and bless you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. When you see the light of that moon, may you remember that things in this world are better shared, including the greatest gift of all, that of peace. We conclude our service now with a closing song. It is such a pleasure to be with you in this virtual space, to be with you, to pray with you, to look forward to a better year of 5781 together with you.
Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom.